Okay, so I am the first negative rebuttal, and my first claim was that there are cases of misdiagnosis, and my opponent's response to this was that she talked about the 2015 End of Life Option Act that Governor Jerry Brown signed, and she goes into the specifics of these requirements. So my rebuttal is that the advocate talks about the rules that patients who are expected to die within the next 6 months can end their life with physician-assisted suicide. But in my negative contract, I'm emphasizing that this is where the problem is. The problem is that some patients are making a decision based on the false assumption that they are going to pass within 6 months. Those that are labeled as having 6 or less months to live may live longer. My opponent does not respond to my claim that there are substantial amounts of misdiagnosed patients. So my second claim was that some patients are mentally incapable of making the decision to end their life. My opponent responds to this with a quote by Peter Jarrett of University of California, Berkeley Wellness Center. Talks about the criteria of what verifies individuals to be able to qualify for physician-assisted suicide. One of these criteria was that they must have the mental capacity to know what they are doing and know what the consequences are. So my rebuttal to this is that those that have depression, which are the majority of terminally ill patients, should not be able to qualify as having the mental capacity because depression hinders decision making. In an article by Dr. Timothy Legg, a family psychiatric and health nurse practitioner, he wrote, "Grief is common in people facing the end of their lives and as a result of a terminal illness. It's a feeling that can cause a terminally ill person to experience even more pain than they do from their illness. However, it's considered a normal reaction to their situation. There's another study done by Baylor University that suggests that up to 77% of terminally ill patients struggle with major depression. This shows that the majority of terminally ill patients go from grieving to being depressed." An article on Medical Daily wrote that depression is an all-encompassing in its effects on the mind and body. Not only does it make someone feel a deep sense of dread, sadness, and hopelessness, it also impedes other processes in the brain. One of these processes is the ability to make decisions. Another article from Harvard Medical School explains that depression can impair your attention and memory, as well as your information processing and decision-making skills. It can lower your cognitive flexibility and executive functionings. So my third claim was that legalizing physician-assisted suicide will create a slippery slope to involuntary euthanasia. My opponent's response was a quote by Nicola Biller and Dorno from the New England Journal of Medicine. The quote was, "The implementation of physician-assisted suicide, when it is accompanied by certain safeguards, does not lead to uncontrolled expansion or abuse." My rebuttal is that if we follow the well-documented timeline of the programs in the Netherlands and Belgium, we can see the slippery slope. So in 2002, Netherlands starts their program. Of April 1st, 2002, Netherlands starts their program. May 28th, Belgium starts their program. And of September 2004, Netherlands extends physician-assisted suicide to severely ill newborns. And then in June of 2010, a study in the Canadian Medical Association Journal discovers that out of 208 physician-assisted deaths studied in Belgium, 66 were administered without an explicit patient request. So you could already see the slippery slope taking into effect.